Hi. So one of the ways to think about the chakras is that they, a lot of working with sound is really undoing because our body knows exactly what to do, and our mind gets in the way, and then all of a sudden things aren't flowing correctly. And so because the body is emergent from Platonic and Archimedean solids, that when you bring the sound into the human biofield, the body's like, oh, oh. And so it really is a reminder of the way that beliefs and the experience of just being alive, while um, on the one hand, very, very useful to the end of accomplishing goals, showing up for our lives in the way that we want to, having relationships, being in love, being out of love, being community members, being guided, can ultimately take us away from our baseline as beingness, which is really emergent through true love. We are love in form, and so sound reminds us of, oh, right, I forgot. And so we can think about everything that we do as a geometry that we bring into our field for a purpose, but then we get to a place where we're at the limiting returns of that. So, for example, if it made sense in our family of origin for us to put blinders on at age 14 and say, well, I just am going to get it done. I can't pay attention to what's happening with my caregivers, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever it is. Wow, the world is kind of strange. I just need to decide how to show up and be a human every single day that needs to eat and have dreams and want to create goals. And then so we'll maybe get into that perspective where we'll anchor in, and then we might not pop out for 10 years or for 40 years. Or maybe maybe we did all the things. Maybe it made sense to us to be conventional, get married, to work a particular job. And then all of a sudden we're at the birth of our grandchild and something cracks wide open for us. And we realize that everything that we were pushing against at 14 doesn't exist for us in the same way. And so that huge firmament that we created that was so important for our 14-year-old self is irrelevant, because now we're 59 and it's causing us more of a suffocation and a stricture than it is offering liberation. And so we're invited to say, wow, 14-year-old self, you nailed it. Or you did the best you could, or chef's kiss, or it's been a mixed bag, whatever, right? And we're done here. And sometimes energetically, because of the somatics, that could feel like you're going through your life, everything's fine. And all of a sudden you're walking through your life and you're like, when did I put on these two small Dr. Dentons? The whole perspective can feel like an encasement where you're like, I'm bound. I can't move. And if you look around the world, you'll see people walking around with their holding patterns, because our fascia and the emotions are directly intersecting in each breath. The fascial layer is that sleeve that holds all of our muscles within our system, and it is dynamically updating every breath. It's got tubules. It's got a very geometric mesh patterning, and this literally structures the way that we move around. So if you wake up one day and you feel like the Tasmanian devil from the old Warner Brothers cartoons, who had an accordion effect after an anvil was dropped on, it could be that you have outgrown your energetic holding patterns. See, we don't even have this conversation enough as a part of our everyday parlance in groups, for people to go like, oh, I feel kind of bad. Maybe I'll pop some aspirin. Maybe I need a cold shower. Maybe I won't have, as much coffee. Maybe I'll skip the donuts. Maybe I'll go for a longer run. But it won't sort of occur to someone, wow, the holding patterns, the vibrational frequency, psycho-spiritual ideas that got me to whatever this day is are now too small. And I'm literally feeling the pull on my musculature of a structural system. We can use clothes as an analogy that just doesn't fit. It's like going in the closet and you're like, oh, I've got nothing to wear. And you're like, yes, you do. You just bought stuff and you look and you're like, oh, and then you've got maybe a section of clothes in your closet. I don't know how wide, 3 feet wide. We're like, I'm never going to wear that stuff again. But you're like, but I can't let it go because there was that one time in Mexico. Oh, and that 10 years it was. And so much in the same way, when we are confronted with our body and our body's like, I don't feel good. I feel compressed. I feel kind of squished. We don't decode that as the stories that I've told myself to get to this place today, they rocked. They may have, maybe, okay, maybe I'll give myself a C plus. Maybe I got an A. Maybe it's been an F. Who knows? Okay. But they don't work anymore. And that's why I feel that binding, that pulling, that compression, that like accordion. And so what we'll do in our contemporary society, if we don't know better, is we'll try to block, we'll mask this feeling. We'll say maybe it's a bad day. Maybe I ate something bad last night. Maybe I'm just like crazy. Okay. And so we'll gaslight ourselves because we don't honor the body and its exquisite wisdom and intelligence. We don't go like, hey, body, what's going on? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked. So like 25 years ago when you decided blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you did it. Okay. And that's actually causing a torsion in your field that's maybe giving you migraines. You're feeling it around your eyes. It's giving you migraines. Maybe you've got tinnitus in your right ear, and it's because of a holding pattern that's causing you to roll the shoulders, whatever. We can decode this. And I think you understand what I'm saying. But if we would create the space and time to have that beautiful conversation with the body would be like this, 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 and this, and oh, that too, by the way. Clear as a bell. Okay. And you're like, oh, okay. Glad I asked.
Yeah. What next?
What's first? And our body will be like, you pick one thing at a time. And oftentimes it can just be like, okay, so you realize you're like, wow, first thing is body work. A lot of people are like, I don't want to be touched. I'm afraid. Okay. And so there's a lot of restorative body work that you can pursue. And you could say to your body worker, I've never had body work, or I can't lie down at a table. I mean, as a sound healer and energy practitioner, I've worked with people whose trauma was so palpable that they didn't feel safe lying down at a table with their torso exposed. It wasn't comfortable for them. And so if you're a person who's never had body work and that scares you, you can talk to people about that. There's a lot of different ways to move slowly into the experience of body work, but nothing takes the place of fascial manipulation when you're releasing outgrown, old, or outmoded behavioral patterns, belief systems, because we hold, just getting in there, getting into the fascial layer, even we can do it ourselves. You can use your knuckles and work across your face. A lot of people call this like face yoga or face massage. If you start doing this, you have no idea of how much energy and tension that you hold in your face. We can just digress there for a moment, Crystal, because we're coming from a society that is just coming online as it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, meaning that centuries of energetic cutoff between the body and the head are being renegotiated. Okay. Because people will be like, I can't show what I'm feeling. And so masking. We are a culture across multiple milieus, meaning not just Midwest United States, but across lots of different times and places that says this and this can't talk. In fact, if people know what's happening here, I'm going to get in trouble, killed. It'll be unsafe. There'll be an issue. And so most of us have cut this completely off. And right now, the earth is like, bullshit on that. Okay. We are being called to integrate, meaning we are being called to run the energy up and down. And this cutoff space isn't going to fly. So a lot of what these times are is a rehabilitation of the throat and a bringing of the throat online, because many of us, women and men, okay, and across multiple lifetimes, multiple spaces, have evacuated the throat, have severed the throat, have completely locked down the throat, to keep the peace, to keep safe, to, you name all the different reasons why people would close this off. And, if there be anything about the emergence of the divine feminine or the divine goddess rising or the emergence in these times to 3 to 5D, it's very much about the um, reunion, if you will, of the heart and the high heart with the throat, and all of this being one amalgam, okay, of energy. And my guides have showed me, they said, you know what, these parsing of, it's your heart, it's your throat, it's your third eye, is artificial. It's only one heart. But in order to have that one heart, we need to open this up. And we've been out of commission here collectively for a good long time, like, maybe even before the flood, right? Yeah. Well, think about it this way, because some say, so when I first started my sound work, the assertion made by the sound healing outfit was that we only have vocal cords to exalt. Like the whole reason that we can aspirate is to praise. Okay. And so we can say, we can talk about a story in which the fall then is the ability to create in the absence of love. Okay. This is probably one of my favorite renderings of this cosmology. And so you're like, well, yeah, of course we can create in the absence of love. We can create whatever. But then as a consciousness, we were called to shut down the heart chakra, because witnessing the miscreations in the absence of love was so wrenching that it just hurt. It pierced the sacredness of the heart space. And so the heart chakra was closed. Okay. And so when we talk about divine goddess and the rising of the heart and the awakening of these times, we can say, well, it's the reopening of a heart that was necessarily closed because the witness of creation in the absence of love was so devastatingly wrenching, it couldn't be held as a thing any other way. And so now we're in this massive purification cycle where we're collectively as one spirit being asked to bear witness to everything that we've created in the absence of love. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's disgusting. It's hideous. It's the rabbit hole knows no end with regards to what happens in the absence of love. And yet we don't have to do anything. We're chilling. We're releasing this. We're allowing ourselves to witness so we can go on, right? And so some say, gosh, I really wish that things would be moving faster. And I'm like, well, the lag can be useful. Think of how many people are used to speaking in a dense earth grid system where you can talk trash and you're not going to experience anything very quickly. Think of the people who are like, and I'm speaking ironically, oh, I could just kill myself. Okay. Oh, I could just die, or I could, just these pronouncements that we make, we're actually creating every time we speak. Now, does that mean like, we have to get freaked out? Well, not necessarily, but it's a good reason there's a lag right now, because we don't command effectively with our words at all. I mean, it's called spelling for a reason, and people are just talking trash all the time. Okay. Because there's been a lag. Because for a long time, we had to say the opposite of what we wanted. Things were inverted, and that inversion's, it doesn't exist anymore. I think it's a little surprising for people. They're like, no, I usually push against to lean in, but you can't do that anymore because it's not inverted anymore, right? You have to lean in to lean in. You have to step away to step away. People are like, no, this has always worked. I leaned into what I wanted to avoid and it just went away. It's like, you can't do that anymore. You actually have to break contact and step away. And so it's like, well, it's odd. Well, yeah, that inversion is shifted. It's not the upside down clown world anymore. It's just a clown. You were going to say. So yeah, absolutely. Well, the universe is like a small child, Crystal. It doesn't hear no and it doesn't hear don't, And so the smashing the reflection often would tie us even further into what we didn't desire. We're like, it's all over me. How come it's sticking to me? I'm trying to get away from it. What's going on? And I think that brings up a really important point. Oftentimes, in our society, we're told that having multiple aspects of our personality is not adaptive. However, right? And so we'll attempt to tie that down. If we allow that, we're welcoming aspects of ourselves home. Okay, so let's go back to this idea of a 14-year-old self who really who needed to, or who needed a very big story to do what he or she did. Okay, and now flash forward to that person's 50s, and they're being invited to, how shall I say, welcome the aspects of themselves home. Okay, and oftentimes we're discouraged from parsing the self into others because it's seen as non-adaptive. However, when we're healing across timelines, it's very adaptive because the body is so articulated that when it holds memory and we crack those memories open, they're complete. And so it's the sounds, it's the tastes, it's the smells. It's almost like we're in it. And so if you're a person who is on a healing path and all of a sudden you've gotten strong enough to bring in some of your deepest wounding, it can feel like you're in your deepest wounding. And there's a part of you that's like, oh my gosh, I thought I'd done all this work and now I think I'm crazy. And maybe I've done no work. Maybe I've just been telling myself a lie this whole time. And so this is where the timeline work becomes really important. There's a part of us that has to hold this metronomic tempo of today is the 20th of February, 2024. And so I'm like 20th February, 2024. 20th February 2024, because I've got a lot of parts like, no, it's the 80s. It's the 80s. I'm pretty sure it's the 80s. I'm like, no, actually it's not. I'm welcoming the 80s home for healing. Okay. So because I'm going to be integrating this aspect of myself that comes home, I don't have to stop it. I don't have to destroy it. I don't have to tie it down. I can actually welcome it and honor it and acknowledge it in only the way, in exquisitely what it desires. Like I hold the key, as does everyone else, to offer the witness to the aspects of ourselves that are wanting to come home that is precise. Only we, other people can witness us, but I have the most articulated key to unlock that aspect and bring that part home. So I don't have to be afraid of admitting that, because that unlocking causes the last and then that aspect becomes a part of my core again, because I've given it the witness that it wanted. I've given it the radical space of allowingness that caused it to become separate and persistent and to knock on the door to be seen the whole at the very beginning. And so that last bit of like, oh, there you are, and honoring then might seem counterintuitive because it seems like we're raising something up that we want to go away. But really it's that last and I love you so much. I see all of the reasons why that you held this trauma through time because it wasn't being acknowledged. And in that moment it can be released and then you can come home. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's like, you turn some and they seem weighted. You're like, wow, it's that lens again. Oh, it's that lens again. And it is until it isn't, right? Yeah. And I think that touches on something also that's very important. Like there is no ideal healing. I don't know what people are doing on the planet. And so to say it means that you're not going to have that weighted lens, I don't know that that's what somebody's doing here, So the greatest gift that I can give someone as a practitioner is the space to become conscious of themselves, because I'm sure I don't know what is going on. And it's not about being happy, and it's not about being at 0 point, and it's not about everyone looking the same and all the I's being dotted and the T's being crossed. We're all doing different things here. And so ultimately, to me, Crystal, it's about giving someone the space to become really conscious about their experience and form so they can claim it all the way through. Well, yeah, absolutely. From why did people do this to me, the victim, right?
Mm-hmm.
To, wow, look at how exquisitely perfect this entire dramatic rendering. Look how exquisite this group was. Look how fully everyone owned their part for this story to unfold through time. And when you can step back, I mean, that's a very hard one space, right?
Yeah.
Of being able to step back and say, oh my gosh, it's exquisite. And it's just one play in one life, and everyone's having this opportunity at
Yeah.
the same time. Well, because because this is the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's exquisite. I mean, I'm not here to put on a fluorescent light that's so big that there's no mystery left. I mean, I really like this idea of, yeah, we can see everything, but let's bring the lights back down to a candlelight and allow the shadows in candlelight, to quote John O'Donohue, are so kind to the gloriousness of our soul.
Mm-hmm.
And the ways that the light and the dark exist for us in candlelight, as we come to a peace with what is and what is not, is much preferred by me over the crackle and hum of a fluorescent lit space. Yes, for sure. I loved meeting with you. You too. You too. I love the way we work through all of it, the good, the bad, and the goofy. Thank you for you. For control. Say the word. You just did. I'll be back anytime, Crystal. It's a joy. Bye.